10 years in Israel. We have 50 of these. And in my startups, I'm investing in various startups. In my startups, I counted at least 25. Now, it's not because, no, that does not deserve applause, because this is not for doing good, you know. Exactly. This is just because that's good for the company. It's good for the company I run today. It's good for other companies. It's good for any company. And we found it out. So we actually try to make sure that we have enough people who are not just Israelis. People that have been here more or less, and people that can bring us all that value. Now, along the way, and your journey into using high tech is going to be difficult, and there's going to be something that you need to remember. The first thing is that I really recommend you not to fight too much in the wrong ends. And the meaning is, when you get to somebody, and that somebody says, well, you're not Israeli, you don't understand, you can't, fine, leave it aside. There's going to be enough other people that are going to understand the value. The second thing is, make sure that you don't settle for just the language bit, okay? You don't have to settle for working in the company simply because they're looking for somebody speaking French or Italian or anything else. There's going to be enough other companies. No, this is sadly, in many cases, what people see. Oh, yeah, you speak language, great. But there's going to be other companies that are going to understand the value, and you don't need to settle for anything else. Don't be embarrassed about being an Ole. It's a good thing, it's not a bad thing. It's great pedigree, not the other way around. Remember that, that in Israel, no does not necessarily mean no, meaning you need to continue pushing all across on all fronts. Mingle with Israelis, because you need to be part of the ecosystem. Okay, so make sure that you don't just go to interviews, but that you meet other entrepreneurs, that you go to events, etc., because that mingling with other Israelis is going to get you into the ecosystem, and this is where the companies are formed, and this is where people find their jobs. And leverage what you bring as assets. Leverage it in terms of your culture, leverage it in terms of your contacts from back home, because there's something that people miss. When somebody wants to find out whether a service exists or not in your home country, the place you came from, it's not going to be very difficult for you to find. It's going to be extremely difficult for Israelis, and there's many such things. So actually, don't be embarrassed, but actually understand the value. And remember that at the end of the day, more than any other country in the world, this is, although we may not behave like this many times, it is a country of immigrants. It's a country that was built by immigrants. It's a country that immigrants with dreams made it what it is today. You're the immigrants of today, and you're going to make our country together with us what it will be tomorrow. So we welcome you, and we hope that you're going to be a big part of our success.
Very inspiring. Almost done. Who here is hungry? Good. To anticipate pleasure is pleasure itself. A few more minutes. If you could all, we were sent here also by the Ministry of Absorption, so if you all check under your chairs, there's some present there for you. So you can tell only the Olim actually checked. That's exactly the point. That's exactly the point that I think many of us here are trying to make. That you won't receive anything. You have to initiate. You have to get. You have to make your own reality. And back to what President Shimon Peres said when he mentioned Ben Gurion. Ben Gurion said that in Israel, if you don't believe in miracles, you're not being realistic. That's a very good point. Now the most important part of our panel. First of all, thank you very, very much, everyone, for participating. I think that now is the perfect time for people